争う夜にきらめく星々共に消え去る記憶の一粒雪の白さに染まった灘の上に空がね僕を溶かしためくる季節足跡なぞる明日が崩れても遠く砕けて消えてもこの時を握りしめるよずっと信じたまんま孤独にとらわれようと恋なき涙を抱きしめ柔らかな手のひらからこぼれ落ちたあなたからもらったかけがえない愛楽園いざなう祈り無帰結命灯してく何度生まれ変わっても必ず巡り会えるとそう願ってたよ世界が変わり果ててもこの羽はきっとあの頃のまま遠く砕けて消えてもこの時を握りしめるよずっと忘れないまんま孤独にとらわれようとあなたのぬくもり増し続け
Lagi kejebak macet ya? Sabar, macet pasti berlalu. Berlalu lalang maksudnya. Bikin jam session aja di Spotify.
Dan kalau kalian pakai premium,
Kalian bisa jadi hostnya loh.
Jangan lupa masukin lagu-lagunya Piwi Gaskins di
jam
session kalian. Kejebak macet enaknya ditemenin Spotify Premium.
Lagi mendaki tumpukan Keserikahan ya?
Tenang, momen lebih asik sambil dengerin playlist Spotify buatan kamu.
masukin lagu kesukaanmu dan jangan lupa masukin lagu Piwi Gaskins juga.
Nyetrika enaknya ditemenin Spotify.
被旋落的初夏，好像雨伞冻在大雨落下，回忆都遗在这霓虹灯之下，绚烂融化，都只在一刹那。放下吧，华丽装扮的魔法，找到最真实的他。我被自己聆听蝉鸣的夏，未来藏在迷雾之中，从不作答。寻找吧，平原交织的花花，在心眼写上涂鸦。My daydream。
孤独の意味考えたこと一度もなくて、足元から伸びる影、いつも一つだけ。幸せなんて今までだって降り注がなかった。空見上げたとしても鉛色の雲、仲間外れて知っているから、ただ身を潜めて気にしないふり。けれど心の底願いが生まれ、鎖を断ち切る力を、翼を広げ届け、無限に続く空へ、自由を知って生まれ変わる体で歩みを進め、走れ憧れの未来まで。風切り走る喜び見つけたから、照らす日沈んでも闇にとらわれはしない。これからもきっとずっと変わらないと信じたいけれど、翼は崩れ消えて底のない暗闇へ引きずるくらい鎖に絡め取られ、それでも今度こそは掴み取るよ光を。大切な人が待ってるからたどり着ける、あの場所まで。走れ
Good evening and welcome. I'm Bernice, and I'll be serving you today. What can I get for you? A drink? Some snacks? Oh, a little flames! Mocktails mix your size. The snacks are real nice. Sodas I'll mix dry. I'm lit, you can't deny. Wherever you want, wherever you need. So good you never, ever want to leave. Anything that you desire, set it on fire. I'll make you spend your pennies all away. That's my desire. You know I'm the real deal, what's left to say. 3, 2, 1, fire!
Lagi kejebak macet ya? Sabar, macet pasti berlalu. Berlalu lalang maksudnya. Bikin jam session aja di Spotify.
Dan kalau kalian pakai premium,
Kalian bisa jadi hostnya loh.
Jangan lupa masukin lagu-lagunya Piwi Gaskins di
jam session
kalian. Kejebak macet enaknya ditemenin Spotify Premium.
Lagi mendaki tumpukan serikaan ya?
Tenang, momen lebih asik sambil dengerin playlist Spotify buatan kamu.
masukin lagu kesukaanmu dan jangan lupa masukin lagu Piwi Gaskins juga.
Nyetrika enaknya ditemenin Spotify.
Sometimes it's rainy, sometimes it's cloudy. That's what journey means. Can't see the scene ahead's blurry, but we still must pursue the dream. Travel through the heights and shallows, put on a sturdy shell to face the perils. I hear about your last trace. Love is shining bright in the deep night. Stand up to fight many times and know it's wrong or right. The scars will finally heal. Do not fear the road not taken. The outer is a problem. Do not go gentle in the good night. The day I wanna seize comes with the greetings of the breeze. Will there be bright day? Please tell me. Travel through infinite dusks and dawns, break through the strong tide to reach the other side. I hear about your last trace. Some words are heavy when some words are light. We are like two meteors that miss each other. We'll finally reunite to catch up with the sunlight, with the brightest fire. The moon rays softly touch my feet. The freedom I wanna seize takes me to an unknown place. At the journey's end, we will so we will go on the quest along the way. In candlelight, as time unwinds, I find myself lost in your eyes.
night falls, as darkness falls, I see your tears when we say goodbye. Watching stars as we drift on by, a touch, a glance, fly away. Will our paths converge 'neath the sun? A silent desire, melody sung beyond the stolen night. We share a cherished dream between souls whispered, and it seems we'll shooting stars line 'neath the sun, in whispered hopes where journeys begun. In dreams we walk the sky, you watch me drift on by. In your memory, a whispered song, a seed of hope where we belong.
Lagi mendaki tubuh kasrikaan ya?
Tenang, momen lebih asik sambil dengerin playlist Spotify buatan kamu.
Masukin lagu kesukaanmu dan jangan lupa masukin lagu Piwi Gaskins juga.
Nyetrika enaknya ditemenin Spotify.
Lagi kejebak macet ya? Sabar, macet pasti berlalu. Berlalu lalang maksudnya. Bikin jam session aja di Spotify.
Dan kalau kalian pakai premium,
Kalian bisa jadi hostnya loh.
Jangan lupa masukin lagu-lagunya Piwi Gaskins di
jam
session kalian. Kejebak macet enaknya ditemenin Spotify Premium.
Isn't it so incredible? We're here sharing the same time and space. In your eyes, the sparks look like thousands of bright stars. I have gazed at for thousands of time. May all sweet dreams take flight. What the truth to be your guiding light. Let your curiosity set your spirit free and well like fire. If a lonely night surprised to see our dreams glowing brightly, every 罪深き身を隠して崩れゆく世界を背に救いを求めて闇の底から震える声で叫んでる曇った魂はやがて光放つ果てなき闇ようにもつれた心は今星のない空を切り裂いた暁が来るように闇の底から救いを求めて必死に藁を掴む溺れるもののよおののく両手を伸ばす雲った魂はやがて光放つ果てなき闇ようにもつれた心は今星のない空を切り裂いた暁が来るように这故事无关命运的刻意安排，毕竟终点尚且遥远渺小，犹如尘埃。奔跑的心跳声汇中你的神态，告别过去，如一场对白。列车的轨迹将秘密渐次揭开，而你却说往日已不在。
On day 2 was really exciting as well. It was another story of, you know, all these players that have actually been around at the Pro League for a while, but especially with Nice Guys, it made me really happy to see the return of Nocturnal's IGLing style, finding some success on Storm Point. It looked really good for them, but it was just the first day, and I think it's important that we couch this, that even though the first days have happened for both of these groups that are facing off today will mark the end of the first round robin, and we only get 3 of them in a split, so even if this weekend is a fluke, even if it's just, we're feeling a little bit unlucky, it is still the first third of the split, so the stakes are really high, especially for teams that underperformed.
Regardless if you've got Nocturnal doing well, it's got me wanting to run through a wall, and this tweet had me dying as well. First place day one on Pro League. Enemy and I finally win a Pro League day together after 3 years. Sacred tweets, Streets won't forget. There's actually a little screenshot that goes alongside all of those from some purple slushy banter back in the day. We love memes. We love the support, and it's super fun to see. So congratulations on that first Pro League win day. I hadn't even realized that it was their first Pro League win until Enemy mentioned it in the interview. But you said Nocturnal and you said Nice Guys, so I want to talk more about them specifically, Dia.
Yeah, I excited for this squad. Do want to pose a quick question that we can talk about later. But you remember that Harvester zone that we saw?
Yes.
I wonder if that's indicative of zones overall. Because that is an older zone, I wonder if Nocturnal is finding more success because he's more familiar with the zones that we're getting this patch.
I mean, maybe Graceful can probably speak to that too.
I mean, yeah, we even saw it even outside of the Harvesters. We saw a thermal zone. Immediately, people were pinpointing where it was going, all the way back, and even without with the ring console, they just immediately knew this is the old zone, and they just went there. So, could definitely be an advantage that they might have over the other rosters. But as much as we want to say underdogs or, you know, heavy punches from the middle of the pack, these guys are definitely experienced.
But yeah, okay. I will say, I don't know much about Jukies or Jukiz. I don't think I'm saying that correctly, and I feel really bad. So someone is definitely gonna have to correct me. You can tweet at me, give me it all day, because the guy has like 300 followers on Twitter, which means to me, he's an up-and-coming demon. Okay. Look at Dia, he's going.
I would say Jukesy.
Jukesy. Okay, to be fair, I know another player named Jake Jukies, so it's like instant in my head. We're going that route. But we pull up essentially their performance, right? They won maps 5 and 6. It was really dominant. Started off pretty strong with a third, tapered off in mid-series, and then come back swinging. And I did see their coach tweet out, they had worked with Majin historically over on the EMEA side of things that had won matches 5 and 6. And then Nice Guys, who they're working with now, win matches 5 and 6. And I'm like, this is interesting. This is interesting, Graceful.
Yeah, I mean, I also think that Cody has been one of the up-and-coming players and has dominated like mechanically individually, and just seeing him return to that form with the frags and the entry damage that he does pull off every now and then, or a lot of the times in their fights, has been something else for sure. Even seeing at this graph as well with the top 3 initially and then winning back-to-back. The top 3 is good, but those 3 matches in between makes it kind of close to where if you don't pop off, it could have been very differently. But I am happy it worked out for them. Hope they get to move up a little bit more consistent though.
Hey, I know someone else that's probably really happy about it, because I think he's been a historical Nocturnal fan as well. We got to get Jayhawk back into the broadcast. Welcome in. He has been crushing the analysis throughout EMEA, and I'm ready to see some of his takes on the Americas. So, are you ready? Because yesterday was a little wild. A couple elephants in the room that I think we could address.
Yeah, listen, Nocturnal's not the only player that's made a grand return. We actually had It's Timmy playing yesterday, and Team Falcons Day didn't quite go to plan. So let's roll the clip from Snipe Down yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, bringing in Timmy is, I think, a really good decision. I think Timmy is just one of the most multi-talented FPS players, especially with his history, just knowing how to play and how good he is on crypto.
A few moments later.
Yeah, I'm in 1 for 3.
You also left the, like, why are you leaving the truck? Like, are you expecting me to res you outside? Like, the truck is a safe spot. Why are you leaving the fucking trucks?
Yeah.
Just got us all killed.
I have been yelled at by Hal, absolutely.
I mean, it'd be like that sometimes. It really do. That day just did not go to plan for them. And honestly, halfway through game 6, Hal puts out this tweet. My jaw drops, but I will say so many people came out in support of Hal. You've got Kurev dropping in the midst of chaos. There is also opportunity. Zach Mazer, who's been having a phenomenal run in ALGS the last couple of months. Better day tomorrow. Heads up, bro. Heads up, bro. And honestly, I don't even know if we have more, but there were like hundreds. I think Phony wasn't even in there, Jayhawk.
Phony caught a stray from Hal for no reason. Hal said he was in his mental breakdown era, and he called out Phony specifically. I do want to point out some of the things that were going wrong yesterday. Timmy was having a couple positioning issues, but to his credit, he is a sub. He hasn't played competitively in quite some time, and the characters he's playing this time around are very different than he has ever played before. He is currently anchoring, so he was playing Watson, he was playing Newcastle. These characters don't have any sort of movement capabilities. They aren't aggressive characters, and so I think that was just kind of the growing pains that was happening. At the same time, though, post game day, their coach Stroger, he stepped in, he said, listen, guys, ultimately it's one bad day. So many things went wrong that I don't need to sit here and tell you all that stuff. At the end of the day, we just got to bounce back today. So I'm excited to see what they can do today, because I think that they should do better than yesterday. I mean, it's hard to do that bad again.
And he's like, while this performance is terrible, and he's very much acknowledging that it was a terrible performance, it's also being overanalyzed. Like, they are coming into a new season, they have a sub. Timmy is a good player, but Waltzy is a world-class player, especially in his role. It makes sense that they're going to suffer. Yes, they did suffer maybe disproportionately, but long-term, I don't think this says a lot about Falcons. It's more so just about the journey that they'll have to take to actually qualify to the playoffs.
And I'm not worried about it. And another team I'm definitely not worried about is Sentinels, right? We were been talking about it. I've had so many players tell me, or not players, was it you, Jayhawk, that was telling me that you think they're the best team in the world right now?
Yeah, I've got a little bit of a bone to pick with the general Apex community. Ultimately, I feel like there is not enough praise for this team. I'm not trying to say that I'm not disparaging any other squad, but I just think that Sentinels right now are simply put the best team in the game. And not only that, I think that Blinkster right now is the best player in the entire world. So when we look over the last 8 months, they win champs in Sapporo, they place first, and they get third in Paris, being one of the first 2 teams to match point and nearly winning it. That game where Unlimit was able to stop them.
Yes.
How did anyone else come that close other than Sentinels? And so I just feel like Blinkster has unlocked something inside of these 2 veterans of Fun and Monsoon, because they're playing the best they ever have, which is a bold statement considering how good they once were. And then he himself, he's got them in the right positions. They're picking POIs nobody else wants, and they're making it work dead center zone. I don't feel like this team has received enough praise, to be honest.
I mean, honestly, I think it's a sense of community from recency bias, where people are just having, oh, they're just the best for whatever reason, whether that be the fact that they just won one match, they're all of a sudden the best team in the region, whether they win one LAN and it's a fluke. It goes both ways for some reason. Sentinel undoubtedly is one of the best teams in the world currently. And I would even say, when you say, I would agree with you on being the strongest in the world as well, because Apex currently is the hardest it has ever been. So it makes a ton of sense to have that, and I completely agree.
It is. It's been really interesting to navigate all the meta changes, the RNG influx on our players here. But Jayhawk, is there anything in particular? Maybe you have some predictions on how you think today is going to go, or is there something that you're keeping an eye out for?
I'm looking to see if some of the heavy hitters can bounce back. Obviously, we talked about Falcons. To be fair, Sentinels had a 12th place finish their first day. Triple S, sweet on his big return. Not a very inspiring performance yesterday. A lot of these teams too talented to be down that far on the leaderboard. Can they bounce back today? I think a few of them will. I don't know if everybody can, but a few of them should.
We're looking for rebounds, and specifically Falcons, man. I want to see a bounce back for them. I can't let them have, it's not like I'm letting them have anything, but we cannot have 2 bad days in a row for the Falcons. So Dia, Graceful, let's break down everything we need to know before we get into match 1.
First thing we need to know, you definitely can't have 2 bad days in a row. Actually, Graceful, you've been saying this since the start of the weekend, that if you have 1 bad day, the super weekends that we are running this split, the fact that we have 3 of them back-to-back means that if you come into the weekend without a perfect game plan or without a good game plan that is matching up well, it's extremely hard to adjust between game days, and Falcons have them back-to-back. I almost expect that they have another bad day, not because I think the players are bad, but because how do you recover so quickly? I don't think you can.
And this is honestly the pressure of having to play as much as as much as they do now in a rapid pace, to where you don't even have time to adjust. Like, what if they only played 1 day, like we have had in the past, 1 bad day, 5 days of scrims, and then come back in again? I highly doubt it would have been the same experience as you've had back to back. And this is one of the things that can either be super good, you start hot, you keep that ball rolling, or you start cold, and you don't really start at all until the next time. And some of these teams have been struggling, but one of the teams, we have been talking about the stronger teams, one of the teams I really want to talk about is brain rotting. Wow, like, outside of the fact that we have seen several teams in different regions pop off for the moment, brain rotting has done it in such a level that they made the whole lobby look like ranked almost. So I'm really hoping to see if we can keep this up. Or once again, we have had teams on the fluke watch. I definitely don't want them to be that, because the passion that they have behind that roster is big.
Time to decide who defines the lobby here in Americas. Is it Group B or is it Group C? Because yesterday when we saw Group C play without Group B, we had much more what I'll call calculated games of Apex Legends, a lot more of what you'd expect from a Pro League level. However, in the first day, on Friday, when groups A and B played each other, that's when we saw the games very quickly look like ranked. And I'm not saying that the games weren't at a high level. It was a very high level of ranked. I don't think that you could put a lot of players in there that would survive. But ranked it was, and we were running teams down, and kill points were what decided the lobby more than anything. Is that true just because Group B was there, or is it the specific mixture of Group A and B that causes that reaction?
Yeah, I definitely think it causes that reaction because we just saw it in the earlier region. We just had EMEA where all of a sudden we go, there's only 4 teams on edge, only 5 teams on edge. But when you hopped over to Americas, you saw plenty more teams having both the same macro, but they're also looking for the same thing, mainly having that third-party timing as an example, and it could cost teams. Like, look at Hus as an example, currently sitting 14th. Can you really tell me that every group will look the same when they just got absolutely engaged on by every single team, still made it out on top of those 3v3 fights, by the way, back to back to back? If they get to have a calmer game, there's definitely potential there to where they could take over the match.
I almost had to give Jelly my MVP yesterday. I didn't, but I almost had to, just because of the amount of team fights that Hus won that they did not start. Jelly was winning a lot of them. And not to say that Dupes indeed are not doing their part. Incredible talent on this squad, but 99% of Hus gameplay was watching them not bothering anyone, chilling out, playing zone, and being sent by like 6 teams in a row. And they managed to win, I'll say, a fair amount of the fights, but they're not the only ones that won. If you were watching yesterday, you also got to win a Sushi Nessie gun charm that you can, of course, earn today if you didn't manage to catch an hour of the ALGS yesterday. You watched the whole thing, you end up getting the charm. And Graceful, may I remind you that as we are on broadcast, we do not automatically get the charm. So I would recommend opening up a second tab so that you can earn your charm while you cast with me.
Thank you so much for reminding me of that. I already have it though. I appreciate that. Nice. Speaking of winning, one thing I also would like to say is we have seen Zeta move up top. It was a very tight match if you guys didn't watch this actually. And I think a lot of fans at home are happy, even seeing some more more frequent visited team like Enter4 36 and Kinotrope Gaming as well. Other regions are looking a lot more stable than what Americas has so far, but we have to remind you as well, even though the pace is way faster, even though all of these teams are working really hard, it's still only the start of the Pro League.
And a squad that I very much fell in love with at LAN in Paris, White Grim Reaper, also doing really well. A team to look forward to. I'm hoping that they make LAN again because the personalities on that roster really make it for me. Of course, Zeta Division are very happy, not just because of that one match day win, but they also got a second. So with 2 match day wins, it is no wonder that Zeta are coming out on top of APAC North again.
Yeah, indeed. And one thing I do want to say as well is that as we're loading into this game, we see these maps, E-District and World's Edge today. One thing we heard from the interview in EMEA earlier, Dia, was the fact that they stuck to their plan, and as long as they keep to their plan and stay disciplined and play their way, things work out well. So I hope we get to see some teams here really stay disciplined and play their own game. Don't get me wrong, you still have to adapt to the lobby. If there's only 10 teams alive, then you have to play accordingly. You might have to take more space, but you still have to have one big grand scheme in the process to even start that ball rolling at all.
And if this were any other matchup, I would be saying, well, E-District is the conservative map. It's the one that, as we saw, Aurora didn't quite get rolling in the same way this morning because it's a little bit more difficult to be aggressive, to finish off squads on this map. But Brain Rotting already were doing that on E-District in day 1. So as we return to this map, I think my expectations for E-District are about to be broken. It's normally a map where people play very slow, very calculated, and while I'd love to see a return to that, realistically, I cannot expect it, because if you watched day 1, you know how quickly the Americas can explode with action.
I'm not gonna lie, it also comes down to the fact that the meta legend is absolutely crazy. When you have crypto still in-game, alter still in-game, things get chaotic really quick. So even though the map itself might be very, I would say there's a lot of playable area, you can coexist on many layers on this map. The fact that the 2 most aggressive characters in the game are up and running as everybody just insta-locks both alter and crypto almost every single time the map can get changed really quickly. I don't think it's tied to the map. It's tied to before Legends gets banned out.
Yeah, there are legends like Crypto, like Alter, that no matter the map, you're just gonna pick. And Crypto, game 1 ban in every single match day across both EMEA and the Americas. That is one thing that is staying absolutely the same. And one team that I do wonder whether they'll have the same results as we move to E District, by far a less familiar map for Nocturnal, will be the results of Nice Guys. I am rooting for this team, make no mistake, but as we get into this map, I can't help but wonder, will they replicate their day's results when facing off against an entirely different group on an entirely different map?
As the zone also pulls more towards Energy Bank, maybe even upper side of Energy Bank, I would like to see that get replicated, Dia. But the biggest thing about Nice Guys, one of their wins on Storm Point for me, was that they won because other teams got engaged on. So there was 3 teams alive, and 1 team started engaging on the other one. They came in for the free 3P, essentially, and won that match. You're not always as lucky at that point. Are they able to close out the other games when they are the ones forced to make these decisions and be proactive? Is really what I'm looking for to see today.
This, I hate to say it, but I'm going to do it anyway because I have to. And I'm going to kick myself if I don't. It's an E-Bank zone. It's got to be Dinos, right? Like, not only do they land E-Bank, but man, Dinos had such an explosive split 1 playoffs that watching them have a tough day on their first match day, it was difficult. It was difficult for me as a big believer in what this team has to offer. However, Jay Future himself did say to me earlier this weekend that if they have a bad match day 1, he worries about their match day 2, that they are a very emotional squad. Given that they have a zone pulling to them, I am hoping for the best for this clearly very talented team.
Completely understand that as well. If you have a rough day now that you don't have that leeway of being able to revisit your mistakes throughout the week, normally like we have had in the past, it really snowballs. It is, regardless of which direction it goes, it's gonna snowball you very momentum based, whether that be forward or backwards.
Worldwide, a team that escaped notice for some people who were watching the kill feed yesterday, but Worldwide did one thing very well. They were always in God spot. Did they win the fight for God spot? No. But they were predicting zones like no other team. Worldwide, due to, as their name suggests, their worldwide experience, clearly have a lot of zones on lockdown. Their macro is perfect. It's their micro that was missing yesterday. Have they been able to make an adjustment, or will we see them with the same game plan? Ultimately a good day, but one that isn't quite good enough to put them in the strongest squads in the region.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you real quick, Dia. And this is one of the things don't get me wrong, I've called plenty of spots God spot, and they still are. But when you
well, and even then, yesterday we didn't ban Alter like the whole day. So
no.
I see what you're saying, right? Like, maybe it is just Alter that is really messing up Worldwide's game, and if we just deleted Alter, they would be the first place squad. Like, I actually fully believe it, especially based on, like, you're talking about her specific ability to completely ruin a team's positioning. Talk a little bit about the positioning, though. Sentinels are sitting in what they expect to be dead center zone, as are a lot of teams. Vex, JD, Nice Guys, Sin Nombre, everybody piling into Energy Bank. The notable teams around the outside are Team Falcons and Ninjas in Pajamas, who could very much clash at Galleria, Head Glitch and Brain Rotting, who could clash over City Hall, Huss, who are alone at Humbert Labs, and Darkspire, who are alone at Draft Point.
Big teams can indeed clash, as well as the teams that have been doing good overall. One of these teams, however, feeling very happy to be alone on that side. Huss all the way southeast, feeling good about themselves, not getting absolutely engaged on by everybody. Sentinels, as we also said, have played zone almost to the utmost perfection from them with the IGL of Blinkster as well, nominated to be one of the best players in the entire world. He is one of the best players in the entire world. I think that they should be able to close this out potentially, but depending on where the zone pulls, and we have seen some crazy zone pulls today, nothing is written in stone.
As of right now, you know, I hear the term, and it does annoy me. I'm not saying that you annoy me. You don't. I love you so much. But I hear the term one of the best players in the entire world tossed around a lot. I'm gonna make you get a little specific here. Blinkster, one of the best players in the entire world. Does he make the top 10? Does he make the top 5? Does he make the top 3?
Top 5 of IGLs currently, okay. Easily.
Okay.
Top 3, then you kind of have to factor in legacy and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we're talking current players, easily top 5. Like I would probably put him in my top 3 as IGL. Yeah.
I will take a top 5, and I will ask you that again in future, because it is something that we have a lot of. Right, we have so many amazing players in Apex that a lot of times we do get caught up in how incredible they are without realizing that almost everyone is incredible. It's sort of if everyone is super, no one will be, and getting to define how super these players are gives them a chance to really stand out. Head Glitch, one of the teams that is hoping to stand out in a different way than they did last time. One of the teams that did perform the worst out of their group. However, it is a new day, and I've definitely seen January pop off in a huge way before, especially around challenger circuits. Riley and Mello along with them. This team has crazy mechanical potential. It is up to them to tweak their macro just a little bit to find success in their second match day.
I did see them also TDM against Team Falcons earlier before going into this match actually, and they were doing some solid numbers on them. So mechanics they have indeed, if they can stand on par with the teams that have been so strong in the history of Apex. But one of the teams I'm looking for right now though is NIP, and they just in pajamas. And I always say it, and I know I'm gonna sound biased. I feel like you're a little bit biased towards Kurev as well, Dia. You definitely like that guy. Cole, one of my favorite players. I feel like he's such a high impact player, regardless of which positioning they get put in, good or bad. He's gonna do numbers on any teams he walks up against. So I really hope to see them play this game properly.
It's one of those things, Grace. As much as I don't love bias, it's good to recognize that I've got it, and I absolutely do. Kurev, I've followed his journey ever since he came out of South America, and to me that journey has been really inspiring. Kurev was a top fragger in Split 1, but ever since we got to Split 1 playoffs, Cole, to me, has continued to shoot up, and the statistics are undeniable. He is on par, if not sometimes besting Kurev on the day, and it is nice to have 2 fraggers that are competing for best in a LAN or on a match day, both playing for your team.
Indeed, as we also saw earlier, the zone will be pulling up towards the northern side of E-Bank for the moment, as teams are taking their sweet times, getting cozy for the moment, as more teams are pulling in through all of the chokes all around the map right now. These teams should be clutching. Now, once this next zone fully closes in and they see where this zone is pulling, if you're not in the zone, you're forced to make a decision. Are we gonna fight the team for something, or are we gonna try to macro around them? And as more and more teams pile up in the zone, that's gonna be harder.
Round 2 going to be finishing its close in just under a minute, but as Falcons do finally clash with NIP, let's take a listen in on this team fight.
Yeah, watch me. Okay. 120. Okay. TP, take TP! Yeah, take TP. I'm holding knock in corner. They're all thirsting me. I'm getting finished. You can't get me. I will see you.
He's getting finished, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Where do we go home? Deep?
After. What?
We go deep this way?
No. We need to look for his banner.
Okay.
There's no fucking craft anywhere, bro. I'm trying to get close enough to grab it. I'm like 10 meters off. You can insta-res. Insta-res. In Galleria.
Yeah. I'm resing.
Pop up the cell to get your EMP back.
I have my EMP. I didn't use it.
Okay.
I don't see them running at me yet. I can't. I can't look at it anymore.
I'm journeying. I don't see anyone around.
I think we're good. So I'm putting.
They're still in the choke. In the choke. They're joining.
As we come back from the Falcons, listen, it was a good team fight. They took out NIP for our Red Bull first strike. Ultimately, it looks like they've recovered, but we caught them just at the start of that team fight. So I want to hear from Jayhawk real quick. What was the setup like? How are Falcons sounding today?
Yeah, guys, the early message from Jogger before this game, he said, you guys are incredible at team fighting. There is no team in this lobby that can beat you 3 straight up. And so you can already see that early aggression coming out. He wanted them to come into today and fight. We saw yesterday only 5 total kills. He does not want that to be the case. He said, listen, sometimes there's going to be some games where maybe you feel like you have the better positioning, but I want you guys to try to be aggressive today. And we can already see it on full display.
Some good insight. Thank you, Jayhawk. And good to hear, Grace, as we come back into another 3v3 with Team Falcons. They have really taken Jogger's message to heart, and Unreal Nightmare are feeling the heat.
Honestly, the greatest part of listening into Team Falcons right there was Guild's sense of emphasis on his wording on how much damage he is pulling out, and you can hear them plan ahead what's gonna happen as Timmy goes on right now in this fight, though.
House down
into Nano as well. Comes down to Guild himself to make it out.
Passion.
He's gonna turn back.
We gotta see the passion out of Guild. We gotta see more than that. Even the mechanics gotta come through at 50 HP. He's gonna try and go back to the Void Nexus, making a recovery for Team Falcons. But on Seer, you can only do so much. The recall's gonna come in as Hal and Timmy fly over. Team Falcons narrowly avoid death, and Unreal Nightmare do end up falling to SSS.
SSS saves their backs, but Sin Nombre comes from the opposite side and wipes them out. There's only so many times you can teleport around the map and making these extended fights before teams will notice. As Dinos, one of the teams you were talking about, is in a rough spot.
I've seen you win these. Strongfish gonna go down. DJ Killa doesn't get to finish popping the bat. He's 25 HP. He's almost 10 HP even. But on an altar, can do some crazy things. Pops up, takes a hit of zone damage, still alive. Dino's chances of clutching this up, however, plummeting as Brain Rotting will be a surprise elimination.
Surprise elimination indeed, but by nobody else than Keon. One of the players a lot of people have also been wondering about is how is he gonna fare so far. But JD Gaming, one of the teams that a lot of people were wondering what's gonna happen, especially with how, you know, the team disbanded for a brief moment, the full old roster, but now with their new form and shape and iteration, they're starting to look good for the match start.
Worldwide have once again predicted the zone extraordinarily well, and Head Glitch, after collecting one placement point, will fall. I do wonder how far Worldwide make it into this game, however. With 14 squads left, maybe 13 as DJ Kill has been found out. Worldwide zone predictions have gotten them far. I'd like to see them grab a win today, though.
Would have been nice indeed if they could do that. Dinos is trying their right now to restabilize. They do have a crafter in mind, but there are several people lurking about as Dinos did get eliminated. Cody shuts that down real quick as GK Sport as well gets a couple of KP. Or actually 1 KP.
Onto Vex. Team showed a lot of tenacity yesterday. Vex, they've definitely got they've got a good game plan. They are one of the teams that like to use Catalyst as well. So I always favor those teams in endgame. I say, looking at Worldwide once again, seeing that they've got a Catalyst and thinking about what on earth this is going to look like. But unfortunately, Vex will not be one of the Catalyst teams that make it. You're getting very close to the end game, though. The zone's starting to close once again, taking us to the penultimate zone, Zone 5, before we finish this game.
JD game in. 5 KP on that board for the moment. Circle 4 closing fully in about 20 seconds. 12 squads alive. They have some spots to play, and actually Nice Guys own the entirety of the zone pretty much that is about to unfold before people's eyes. They don't have the knowledge we do, but the moment they see this fully closed, people are gonna have to make plays.
Stormer out. JD Gaming eat another EMP, destroying some ferrofluid for Keon, but ultimately with the wall still up, they're relatively safe. Team Darkspire very close and actually tossing some nades through the wall, forces JD Gaming forward. Keon gonna take the slide through, knocking Entity Racer in a 1-4-1. JD Gaming against the duo of Darkside have a definite advantage, whether they know it or not. Naughty gets to cover this res, or lack of res. And JD Gaming and Darkside now at the mercy of Stallions, at the mercy of Nice Guys. 2 trios that are converging around both squads. Albralele takes the aggressive angle, and while Keon trades it back, he will ultimately fall, leaving Stallions to make a recovery.
Albralele in his own fashion, such creative angles as he had yesterday as well, has been popping off nonetheless. Stallions looking strong. They had a great start but couldn't quite finish yesterday. But let's see right here though if 5-star can survive this onslaught, as he is ratting for the moment.
See Nombre struggling for survival as well. Top 10 squad, they make it to the top 9 as Worldwide again will not live to see the end game despite their positioning. Let's see Nombre down. GK Esports look to move us down another squad, but Stallions will fall first, and GK may in fact be the next squad as Noct swings up into Catalyst Spikes, taking out SSS and deploying a wall to make sure that he's able to get his teammates back in. Will it actually work? The next zone starting to close now, giving you limited time for the reset. Sentinel's gonna throw out a wall of their own.
Sentinels gets a great spot for the moment. They have a walk-in, as several teams are right here. They do have these pins. They do have this little trophy or statue to play behind. Right on the crafter, gets it down to Lugenta.
Fun, locked in on this corner. It's gonna survive the elimination of Team Darkspire, but GK start looking at this fight. Another res is gonna come out from Noct as GK focus on a mix of offense and defense. They need to be a full 3. Nice Guys still quietly surviving in a fantastic spot. But Nocturnal down to just the crypto is gonna need to pull off the play of his life to survive against a Huss who are on a roll.
He's trying to re-pull out that drone. They haven't found him just yet, but there's Seer in the game. There is no secret hiding spot for that player. Sentinels lost 1 player. Blake's trying to stay alive for the moment against GK, and they fall.
Gonna get taken out. Solo for Nice Guys. Nocturnal still up, but focus down. He will be taken out. Sentinels and Nice Guys gone, and it looks like with Jelly swinging on floating, we have got a hungry Huss in the lobby. The swing for Jelly comes in again, but it's into the L-Star from floating. weighing it down. It is team fight after team fight that GK managed to survive, and their win comes quick with Floating leading a fantastic charge.
GK Esports has that phenomenal match won after having what seemed like endless fighting from that eastern side of buildings, got their rests, made their way in to wrap around, and still won back-to-back 3v3s after that point. However, I would also like to say Hus made it to top 2 now. They had their time to actually choose their own options and make their own decisions, and they're starting to look alive as well.
Yeah, we finally see what it's like when Hus are picking fights, but GK, they felt like they were in the same situation that Hus were yesterday, not being the ones that were actively wanting to fight, but especially around the edge of the ring, were forced to do it. It nets them 13 kills and a total of 25 points in their first game. An impressive showing from them. As JD Gaming, Dinos, Brain Rotting, and Team Falcons, all notable eliminations, joining Ninjas in Pajamas in the bottom 10.
Everybody was hoping to see if they could keep the face going, whether that be in a positive manner or a negative manner. It shows to be true on both cases, but GK Esports for sure popped off, and I'm super proud.
For a little bit more on this game and some insight into the comms, let's talk to Jayhawk and Tiff for a little while.
Let's do it. Honestly, I'm amped that GK did that. I was so curious after we had some roster shifts post EWC Split 1 playoffs. You get Floating over to GK, and to see that come out on top, Jayhawk, you're probably like, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. The Floating pickup was huge. I do want to come back to Falcons because I talked about them in the pregame. I talked about them mid-game. And so just a quick recap on kind of what happened there. They did end up going down pretty early, but the message afterwards was, listen, guys, everything went according to plan. We played the game perfectly. It was just some slight missteps in terms of the pacing of the fight from both Timmy and Hal while Guild was healing. So ultimately, nothing too concerning as of right now, but obviously still died early, and so we're still looking for that potential bounce back. But I want to jump back over to GK, like you said, who won that game. And listen, 13 kills in this win. Floating was the big pickup, and a lot of people were starting to question, why did Floating come over to this team? They felt like it was maybe a lateral move leaving JD Gaming, but he comes to a roster with Knocked and Dropped, two of the most experienced pros in the entire region, in the entire world, quite frankly. And we're starting to see why they wanted him specifically, because, man, this kid can frag. I think he's next up in terms of that list of fraggers. We've seen Koifel, Anik, all these guys come up over the years, and now it might be Floating's time to take that up-and-coming fragger crown because he's popping off already.
He truly is. Even Jelly there in the end game. You know, Jelly was looking good just on their first match day. So it's like you've got these up and coming fraggers that are just butting heads towards the end. That just means something is working out right for them. We did see, you're right, an early exit from the Falcons, but I'm glad to hear that all is well and they're just still working on some of those minor mistakes. Brain Rotting, I didn't get to see too much of what happened to them. And I think if you were listening into the Falcons, you probably didn't see that either. So I'm curious to see, can Brain Rotting answer back from an early exit in map 1?
I'm curious as well. I do want to point out, because you brought up Jelly, okay?
Yes.
I threw the take out there in my watch party yesterday. We know that a lot of people are iconic with certain characters. We think of Blinkster with Wraith right now. We think of Hal playing Horizon back on TSM. This kid Jelly is currently making Axel his own, because honestly, if he was an Axel in that fight, I wonder if things might have gone a little bit differently. When he has that speed boost, that ultimate, he is a different beast. We saw him dominate Paris playing Axel the whole way through. So maybe once they get off the altar comps, maybe we'll start to see the kills pick up again for Hus.
All right, so we're on Jelly Axel watch confirmed. Let's get it back over to Dia and Graceful and get into match 2.
Jelly, not the only player, not even the only person on this broadcast hoping for an altar ban to come through soon. Graceful, I've appreciated the hate train that you're on with altar. It's an exciting thing for me to look forward to, you know, knowing that my co-commentator is going to be happy. But I imagine you were also happy watching that end game and the incredible turnaround that we got. So often Apex Legends comes down to positioning, comes down to cooldowns and things like that. And it's these magical moments that we saw from Floating with the L-Star where you're like, and sometimes it just comes down to execution.
Yeah, I mean, seeing just him shoot his gun, like I'm sick and tired of everything being too much ability based, which is the direction Apex has gone over time at this point. But seeing when you come back to the best part, which is why I say after match 4 normally right now with the current bans, is where I'm the most excited. Outside of the fact that it's the end of the series, it's the fundamentals. It's the positioning. If you have bad positioning, I'm punishing you straight up. You can't run away as an alter, as an Axel, for that fact as well, as any character to save you. If I'm better than you, I'm taking you out. And when you see gunplay like that from floating as well, which is why he's so well liked as well for his mechanics, it's just such a beautiful thing. You can really see it in their personality and their playstyle, how well they are as an individual.
Yeah, I was really locked in, even from a losing position. I mean, Huss had a huge advantage in that fight, swinging down from the high ground. They had done more initial damage, but one of the underrated things about Apex Legends, especially for players who pop in casually and, you know, who occasionally watch the ALGS, I'm talking to all of you, one of the underrated things is never giving up on a fight, especially when your IGL has told you you've got to take. And in those final 3v3 situations is where you really see players like Floating be able to dial up their performance to match the needs of the squad at that moment. They've got the clutch factor, and it's something that in the ALGS you've got to have to survive. GK definitely do more than survive in that game with a win and plenty of kills to go with it. They push themselves far and away to the top of the leaderboard, but it is just the first game, and that was a very close zone for them. I do wonder if in subsequent games GK will be able to repeat the performance based on the momentum that they've already accrued.
Yeah, and this is the most important part to think about, as well, as we even saw Triple S fall to GK ESports, where it came down to the last person standing, right? So any of these matches that we end up seeing where one team just, they managed to win that match, at any point in that match, if it came down to one person, just one team fight could have changed things completely drastically. But them coming out though with 13 kill points is huge.
Big game for them. For a team like Dinos, because I called them out, I'm just going to reference them right now. Tough game. E-Bank, their zone, their POI, and 11th place. They do get 3 KP, and if you want to make it sound really good, they have as good a game as Falcons that game, which sounds really good on paper, but both teams still having a tough one. Worldwide, even underneath that, though, continuing with their problems from yesterday. They're in great spots, but they are not making it.
Two other teams I really want to shout out as well is Stallions and JD Gaming. 5 and 6 kill points, but the thing that impressed me the most is just how proactive they are, and also moving forward. Sometimes you get caught between several teams like JD Gaming, and that's just what ends up happening if you can't immediately clean a 3v3 fight. But the fact that they're still looking for so many opportunities, playing proactively this early into the match, really just shows that it can only go up from here. This is only match 1.
Yeah, and like you say, worth noting, it is only match 1. You've got plenty of opportunities to turn it around. While I was definitely a big proponent of Dinos maybe being able to come out in a top 3, I'm absolutely on board with the team that you were just talking about. And looking at Stallions, I was very heartened to see Abralele taking the crazy angles that Abralele does, because it's that kind of confidence that lets Stallions be the pop-off team that they are. The day that you see Abralele stop taking those angles is the day that Stallions never return to the top of the leaderboard. So the fact that he's coming into today with a can-win attitude, with the very attitude that Draugr was trying to instill in Falcons, you are better than these teams. Take the angles, take the fights, and win them. Yes, Stallions may have fallen out a little bit early, but that is the form that Stallions need to be in if they want to rise to the top like they did yesterday.
Absolutely. I think you have to go into these matches with the mindset that you are winning absolutely every single 3v3 potentially. But the biggest thing that you have to also keep in mind is that whether or not you're adapting to to the lobbies. Are there many teams alive? Are there not many teams alive? Play accordingly, and also play for placement and KP. We can't always go, like, a lot of these teams tend to always go for the win. Sometimes playing for overall points is a lot better, so make sure to pick up every single point you can, because we've seen the leaderboard shuffle drastically. Some teams have hopped up 12 points at one point, 9, 7, and if the leaderboard is shuffling all of this time, that's only due to big games. But to make sure you stay consistent, keep racking up those points.
The second match of the day kicking off now as a crypto ban comes through for match 1. And based on the pick rates, Seer will be banned in match 2, meaning that Alter and Watson survive another game.
That's the thing. It kind of comes down to which one will get banned out first. Some people like getting Alter after the game. Some people like Seer. Both of them very chaotic and can either stall fights for the longest of times or just interrupt fights. Both of which makes them very unclean and messy. And the moment it's not a straight 3v3 for a 3-0, you gotta be careful.
Well, the nice thing is that with all the time that we've had talking about J Future and Dinos, we've actually got the opportunity for Dinos to talk about themselves. So let's hear from J Future on what to expect from this weekend.
So we've learned a lot, and that was the main thing going into it. We wanted to learn to improve our overall game plan for the future lands and just for Pro League in general. The real goal was to make finals, but for first land, making the grand finals, first land ever, and with like a year or two of experience as a squad and in Comp Apex for individually, it's very difficult. But we nearly made it, but we made a lot of very simple mistakes, which is something that I'm actually glad about, because very simple, very dumb mistakes that you really wouldn't be making is something that you can easily fix.
Quick correction as he was reflecting on the Split 1 playoffs. We did talk about multiple things. So with that reflection, as he was saying, correcting a couple of the mistakes that Dinos were making may also be something that we're seeing from week to week here, because Dinos are uncharacteristically having a tough weekend, and Sentinels may be uncharacteristically going out early, just as we say it. With Fun, last member alive, and Jelly dropping on top of him. Fun is unintimidated and nearly takes Jelly out entirely.
Nice fight from Fun, though, trying his best to survive for the moment as more people
Dinos
are trying to join the fray. Is this the saving grace for Fun?
Dinos with a kiss on the forehead are gonna let Fun walk this one out, coming into third-party Hus and letting all three squads survive. We still haven't eliminated anyone, but Hus are going to find a reset. Will Sentinels be so lucky? Unfortunately for Fun, he is running straight towards the next zone, so a lot of teams are going to be on his way.
It's going to be a tough reset for sure, but if he manages to somehow make his way up north towards E-Bank and even further out potentially, this could happen. Hus gets back into a duo, but they're still missing Jelly, one of the players we've been talking about who has had a lot of impact in general in the gameplay. If he's not there, might be a bit of a struggle.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do? just when you're missing. That is a disconnected player. It's okay.
Oh, that is a DC player.
Yep. And you know what it is? A free KP as well. Make no apologies. Huss are here to win.
It is true. I think they're very happy with that, seeing that happen, but unfortunate for the other team. However, gonna recuperate for the moment. Zone is closing at the moment, and once it is fully, that'll be something else for the future.
The next 3 minutes, we'll see Nombre continuing to play edge as long as they survive. Bucks did take a little bit of unexpected damage. But ultimately, Nombre going to be pretty happy with the way that they've been able to position themselves in this zone. It is an edge playstyle for sure, as they were facing off against Head Glitch, but with NIP and Worldwide, interestingly, both in the area up to the north by Nombre, we've got a very different look for Worldwide, having shifted to, I don't want to say hard edge play style, but they're right there with the teams that are playing hard edge, so maybe it is.
Maybe they didn't have the information needed. Maybe they opted to try something else in this lobby specifically. And IP might have had an early exit the last match, but I'm sure that does not slow down their pacing, as they are one of the teams that have been the best in their region and performed phenomenally as well throughout the tournaments that they have competed in since.
They won all of Split 1 by like 800 miles. It was incredible how NIP were performing then. And Darkspire, unfortunately, the duo that got their disconnected player picked off earlier are going to struggle to make a recovery. Entity Racer starts on the attempt there, but maybe with the death box, it's a little bit better to give you a little bit of cover. 20 squads, not even going to make it to 19. Nano swings in, finishes off Darkspire, and that is our Red Bull first strike on the duo of Team Darkspire.
That is a rough match too. Hopefully they can pick up for future matches for the moment. But as I also saw, the zone still pulling towards majority of the lobby, as we actually see way more teams play edge. Currently, we see about 6 teams on the far northern side of things, as we have a couple of more fishes outside on the lower side. Sentinels, however, still on the run. Managed to make his way all the way from down south. Almost at the furthest point right now, but if he runs into Nombre, this is going to be scary, but he's most likely going for City Halls.
I can't believe that in a game with 20 Seers, Fun is able to make it out from basically center of zone. It is an insane run from this Watson, and I mean, if Sentinels make it to top 10 from here, they have got only him to thank for an Olympic level Watson performance. JD Gaming, very different game set up with the Watson as well. Not a superhero Watson, but hey, Keon, I believe that you can make it there. It's the beginning of the game yet. About 2 minutes left until the next zone starts closing, and that gives JD Gaming plenty of time to find themselves additional Evo. Hopefully a couple of team fights, but it really depends on how aggressively we are playing. We saw a lot of aggression in game 1. I'm not seeing that in game 2.
Yeah, I think people are... First game, people are filling out the matches for sure. The lobby in general, as it has changed the pacing, but all of these teams see exactly where the zone is headed. So many teams dead center zone for the moment. Some of them are going mid-speed still. Sentinels is still going for that reset for the moment as they are clicking it in the top left corner, as we can see. Very happy to have them back. NIP, incredibly slow.
What are Worldwide doing? I mean, changing their entire game plan, like you say, might be a necessity of the POI, but it is completely throwing me off to see them playing this odd mid-speed, but also it doesn't seem like they're fighting for holding on to the beacon. We'll see what it looks like, but for now, our winners of Game 1, GK Esports, end up popping into the latrine for a quick break after Knocked is knocked.
I think that they should be fine for the moment. Nate comes out to break doors. Somebody is trying to step up, but not really committing to it. Should be able to get this reset as the gen pops up.
So many Watsons in this game that nades are really losing a lot of value right now. Later on, we will likely see a Watson ban. I expect in Game 3, if the Americas stay true to their identity that we saw yesterday. However, with Vex fighting, it looks like Worldwide are the ones in danger. Vaxlon about to get recalled. MT would have loved to join him, but didn't get scooped up on the bus. And Nate will just be rezzing the Watson for right now. MT hoping that he survives and is able to be pulled back to the squad.
So far, we've only seen a little bit of poking from most of these teams. They have tried to find such angles that are not really netting them anything outside of potentially armor, but outside of that, people are still staying kind of cold for the moment until this zone fully closes. If any of these teams are out of the zone, they're gonna have to adjust accordingly. And speaking of one team I have seen adjust accordingly is Hus. I want to see what they're thinking, so let's listen into them.
Nobody's on Maggie right now. Like that Shack with Jen is... There's no Maggies in play. I'm on Watson.
Team on bus. Can we just go low ground and Q to his 5 stack? Come to me, Jelly. We just wrap low ground and through the water, right here. Through the water. We rip 2 Qs to the bottom of 5 stack, alright? You ready?
I can't, I gotta save my Q then, come.
Yeah, no, go, keep going left, Jelly.
Save my Q.
Yeah. LOS? Okay, they know.
They know?
This is gonna be a fight. They're probably just gonna stop this, guys. Be mindful.
This is not work. Go back. This is not work.
Yeah. Q through.
I
might get you on.
Chill a bit.
I'm about to take TP. I'm just taking TP.
Take 4 and drag.
Can you drag him insta?
Just res him.
Okay, we can let you walk into the same. But yellow.
We'll just walk in. Just walk up. We'll just walk up.
Scan everything.
Oh, we're good. Just keep scanning our back. Keep fence everything. You can't let anyone rep here. We're just gonna walk up on the fucking.
I'll accelerate D. I don't know why I haven't.
Let's make the recovery. Good recognition about the macro of the game, what other legends are in play, and what lets them survive. See Nombre struggling for survival right now in a fight up against NIP with a Team Falcons third party incoming. Buck's gonna make the reset, and it's a surprisingly healthy See Nombre that nonetheless are going to back away, letting Falcons take the third party, inherit some of the NIP kills, but ultimately find nobody else there to kill. Karev is going to get out using the jump tower. Not an excellent spot, but a survivable one for NIP as he finds his way to a crafter. And Sin Nombre will have to take the fight with Falcons, you'd imagine.
I think that they're happy with that reset, having the awareness that a 3P came in and immediately TP out with that altar was huge for them. We also saw that as well with us, with that reset, as they kind of greeted first with that Q, saying just Q through the... And then eventually they went for the TP. Happy to see that they went for the 3P and didn't end up losing that whole match.
Looking for Worldwide. Again, weirdly out of zone. A very strange game from Worldwide, but I can't say that it's not working. They're still alive. 19 teams left, and Worldwide don't even seem to be in danger just yet, as Huss make their disengage around the southeast side of the ring. They'll be walking up on the same side as teams like Sin Nombre, who they have apparently spotted out along with NIP to their south.
Huss currently between a rock and a hard place. Walking in from this side. Falcons did 3P and reposition towards the edge once again. Anything here could happen, but Huss should have a walk in for the moment. Nice guys comes in from the southeast as well. Zone actually pulled towards the east. Towards us, JD Gaming, dead center, Unreal Nightmare, especially happy with this zone.
This choke, really not a bad place for Huss, but it will mean they have to watch their backs, even as the next zone starts closing in. After this zone closes, there are going to be teams like Sin Nombre, like NIP, that could wrap them. Even Team Falcons with things like the altar can make a play like that possible. So Huss, their spot good, but their journey incomplete, even as they defend against a Sin Nombre who really want to fight for this choke.
Huss trying to clear out their backs. Huge value with the nade so far. This zone hurts. Kind of hard to heal, but I think they should be able to close out this fight, and they do. Sin Nombre gets fully eliminated, as Huss still has a spot in the zone.
Chelly earns his paycheck right there. 1v3ing a squad. Sin Nombre, they're gone, and nice guys do join them elsewhere on the map. Both leaving us in quick succession. And opening up a little bit of spots on the leaderboards. This zone pull still, as you say, I imagine you're thinking it's pretty good for us, but you know my brand. I'm going, okay, it's pretty good for Dinos, pretty good for Dinos.
For me, draft point being my absolute favorite PY as well. People opted to see if it pulled anywhere remotely close to it. Furthest side to the far east is where it pulls. A lot of these teams are now adjusting, seeing this zone, so we're gonna see some fight breaks up because there's only so many spots to be able to be played here.
Brain rotting not in one of them, but they could fight for the bridge. JD Gaming also in a truck on Brain rotting's way into the ring. But Head Glitch start walking up. They got the idea that they want to take the high ground as well, and Head Glitch seemed keen to start the fight even through the barrage of nades that Brain Rotting have thrown out towards them. Searalt, for a bit of information, is going to give Brain Rotting an advantage even on the defense, and with the Thermite taken away, they may just swing the fight completely. Crook is going to go for it, but he goes down quickly with enemy, and Mr. Rosie, the last last one left to clutch things up. Looks like he could do so. Fries January with the Prowler, and in a 1v2 manages to clean up, but JD Gaming recognized that they have an opportunity right now to clean their backs, and while JD Gaming are unable to find Mr. Rosie, they're going to be focused on these reses. Do they extend? They certainly have the seer scan to back them up on it.
Seer Q comes out and they find that resting positioning, and Crook goes down once again. JD Gaming sniffs them out. However, Trace as well, Mr. Rosie finds him with that Prowler. The former rank 1 still grinding these lobbies out, and he is absolutely crushing them. However, not for free.
Well, brain rotting did leave us. Sentinels were part of that fight as well. It wasn't just JD Gaming. And Naughty spots Sentinels running underneath the bridge. Lasers fun as he slides in, but Sentinels are still alive. Monsoon is there, and we've seen them make a miraculous recovery just earlier this game. If they can avoid JD Gaming's attention, if they can avoid the seer scans, who's to say, oh, Sentinels cannot recover.
One team is having a hard time recovering. His team Falcons as they fall down right now. Several teams are here. Dinos worldwide. Huss still on a corner as well. It comes down to worldwide here versus Dinos. Who's going to come out on top?
Kidnaps him. Nice abduct from Nate in just a moment, knocking DJ. But there's a third party coming in, and worldwide can't focus on the fight anymore. That was incredible. Stick, an incredible turnaround from Nate. It saves worldwide, but this is saving Dinos as well. Dinos have the chance to reset inside their building, and he must kill worldwide to not be able to finish this off. With Deeds knocked, they could actually go for the finish on Huss. Nate's gonna pop through the altar portal, try and do just that, but can't commit to the fight. Cannot give Dinos the opportunity to turn this around.
Worldwide wins one, but not one, but two team fights, as Vaxler has the awareness of a god to immediately fence that Q from the altar. They punish them. They do get to reset, however, lick their wounds in their corner to see if they can restabilize now.
The way that Huss are playing, really nice. I love that they went for the third party, and even as it didn't work, their stabilization unmatched, and great recognition from worldwide as well to make sure that they do not fall prey to an overextension. This does, however, give worldwide, in a very weird way, priority on the zone over all of this. It has been a strange game from worldwide, a total turnaround of their play style, and it still put them in the final zone along with SSS and the teams like JD Gaming that are about to start rotating down the bridge, because it is time to go. The round is starting to close, and SSS may have rotated a little bit too early.
Many teams will fall as everybody thinks that there's no playable areas in the zone currently, only really occupied by two teams as everybody else is fighting. Stallions fall. Vix lights up the kill feed.
Unreal Nightmare gonna go. JD Gaming, they've got Pryo on the bridge. 5-star behind them, Storm in front of them, or I should say beneath them, and NIP in the lobby as they are eliminated. Dinos fighting worldwide right now will end up finding the kills, having a chance to reset as Storm will leave us. Dinos basically full HP with a good spot in zone. I think the curse might be lifted, but we're gonna see. As Chaos takes to the high ground and Dinos try and spread out as much as possible, take up as much space in the zone, because that is exactly how you can win.
We have seen it from Hus before, though. They are a proactive team. If they can find an opening on high ground, they could potentially dethrone Dinos from the height. Dinos over rotates for the moment. Top is free. Hus hasn't noticed it just yet, but GK Esports on a fight right now against SSS, and they lose out.
How the hell did SSS reset in that position? And take another fight as well! GK and JD falling to an SSS who moments ago were on the brink of death, and now it's Dinos versus Hus. And another reset for SSS gonna come in while this fight goes down. It's the L-Star in the hands of Jelly. We've seen the L-Star turn fights before. Last time Floating had it, and it shut Hus down. Can Jelly do the same?
Jelly takes out the 0-ult. Actually, once more comes out. SSS gets the full reset right now. They're just making sure to hold space, but a dude hits a Skynet. DJ goes down.
Is it too much? Look, SSS are wrapping on this. Hus have called it. They know that the third party could happen. It could end up sandwiching them, and SSS biding their time on the low ground are also buying time for Dinos. Jelly doesn't know what to do. Does he commit forward? Does he play defense with the team?
Trying to deny to get wrapped is the right play for the moment, as Dupe might have gotten it down, but actually Dinos is in for quite some time. It's going to come down to a 3v3 up top, but if they can push any of the teams down, they should be able to win this.
Hus want to fight. Jelly wants to fight. He's got the L-Star. He knows he's strong. And they know, most of all, that Dinos have to move. SSS are playing passively, letting this happen. They know that Dinos are doomed, and Dinos know they're doomed as well. Committing onto the low ground, committing on the SSS, who will turn the fight around, finding the 3v3 and letting Hus walk in with the L-Star again in the hands, this time of Jelly. Hus will find their win.
Dinos opts to play for second instead, but still lose out on it as SSS comes out on top right there. Hus managed to play proactive, as we saw several times actually. Managed to retake that high ground while Dinos went to the bridge. Closed out that fight as they had to opt for playing second. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. I was saying, if the entire lobby doesn't hate Hus and they get to play their game, what's gonna happen? This is gonna happen.
That was beautiful, beautiful Apex, because you even saw Hus recognize that yeah they were probably in the game-winning position, but they didn't know what other squads were going to do. They didn't know if SSS was going to wrap on them. They didn't know if Dinos was going to commit to the fight. And Hus, they play their height marvelously, but that end game was 3 squads that know damn well how to play Apex Legends. You watch how that end game plays out, and it is nearly perfect for every team. From SSS's mechanical outplay plays in the final zone to Huss's dominant position and command of the turret that they have with Jelly, Deeds, and Dupe. And Dinos, the macro finally paying off for them, even though it is a third place. It is a 10-kill third place. I have too many good things to say. I genuinely am too happy about this game, Graceful.
Very happy indeed as the leaderboard starts to stabilize a little bit in that upper end of things. Bottom things for the moment, though, is honestly free for grabs for everybody. Anybody's game. If you even make top 5, you're gonna parachute yourself all the way down there, or all the way up there rather, on the leaderboard. So we're gonna have to see how the rest of the matches unfold.
Yeah, Greek leading us now. Huss coming up second. SSS sliding into third, turning around their weekend. We'll see if they can continue it. We're 2 matches down. We got 4 to go, but a break comes first.
Red Bull is giving wings to the ALGS and the Apex community.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Welcome back to the Apex Legends Global Series. Americas have been going crazy. I think Dia had some real choice words behind the scenes about how these games have been making him feel. They've been exciting, Dia. They've been so good.
Yeah, some of my words, they stay behind the scenes, but they were positive. They were extraordinarily positive about that game. Game 2 was stellar. Then the way that SSS were able to mechanically play at such an incredibly high level, like I said, the way that Hus were able to move the macro and the way that Dinos were able to match them, it was like watching a 3-person tango. I don't even know if that exists.
Ooh, I don't even know how to tango. Not gonna lie, your girl can't dance, okay? But here's the deal: when I saw GK and Hus in like the top 5 yet again for match number 2, I was like, something is clicking between these two rosters. Even the final fight of match 1 coming down to kind of like a jelly v floating with how much banter those guys have got going. Everyone is loving it. Now, match 3 for our final match on E District, we're saying goodbye to Seer, which I love. We did lose out on, I believe it was Alter over on the EMEA side of things after game 2. So some interesting things could be happening from this, but Alter lives to see another game in E District.
And if the Americas continue this way, it'll be Watson that is banned next. We don't have that information. We're not in the game yet, and that's where we'll find out.
We're theory crafting.
Watson has been incredibly high presence in the Americas so far, and I would expect that to be the next ban because of how much versatility she is giving. Does play really well into Alter, as we saw with Vaxlon's fences for Worldwide just last game, which raises the question, after that Watson game, are we finally getting rid of Alter? Or, like yesterday in the Americas, are we leaving the Alter ban for last?
Ooh, yeah, you know, that would be kind of interesting because we go back to World's Edge, where over in EMEA we saw Baby Comp start to kind of come out a bit earlier than we would normally see it, with teams adapting onto it. Regardless, you got GK at the top. We showed the series results of where they lie. 33 points after 2 games with 25 kills already.
It has been a really good day for GK.
I lied, 17. My bad, I can't read. I'm blind, Dia. I'm so sorry. I was so excited. I was like, this is it. The graphic was up there and everything.
Broadcast's got it out for Falcons too. I mean, bringing up the 17th placement.
Kills.
I mean, man, come on. Give him a break.
Do not put the Falcons on any kind of chaotic watch yet. You heard Jayhawk say it. He came back full circle after a hit and listened to it. He's like, the comms are there. We're working on the timing there. Draugr wasn't even worried. All is well. All is well.
Coming into this game, as we begin match 3, and as you said, the final game on E District, we have got a tie. And this always throws me off, so it's good to note it now. Watson and Maggie both selected by every single team in the lobby.
Ooh, okay. So then we'll come down to a tiebreaker and see how that goes down for who will inevitably be banned after match number 3. But to kick off this game, we've got to start with Hus. Over here at Stadium, they are going to be privy to a ring console and a survey beacon, so they'll have access to where they need to go within a moment's notice. Now, if you're graceful and you're chilling off screen, you're probably vibing, because Deeds, the moment this ring pops from, you realize, oh my god, we're going to draft point.
That was so perfectly timed. I don't know how you nailed that reveal, but
I'm a legend.
I gotta respect it. Hus having that information. Clearly Unreal Nightmare having that information, starting to rotate into draft point, and JD Gaming get theirs as well. Where will they choose? Where do they imagine that this ring is going? Because looking at this, as much as we do have some space and energy bank where ostensibly this could go, every competitive bone in my body tells me it's going draft point, which means that half the zone is kind of fake.
True, but it's going to be difficult for the teams in the north to try and make something happen and move through that. But you see the culmination on that southeastern side already starting to happen. And Nice Guys just move up from their POI and start taking space. Now think back to match number 1. It was a pretty similarly end game, right? We're over in this vicinity. Nice Guys get a top 3. And they play from the same area. Hopefully they can do it again, but with more teams recognizing it, they're full sending.
Unreal Nightmare having lost Louis. An unfortunate start to the game, especially because they're already in the zone. Not a whole lot of safe ways to recover, although it's a nice nade from Nano to buy him a little bit of time to heal. Ends up popping out of the latrine just to take the 1v2 against 5-star, who ultimately will take out Unreal Nightmare extremely quickly in game 3.
Hey, they need all the kills they can get, and that's a good way to rack up some more. And 5-star now inherit pretty much the extra riot drills in the center of zone. Elsewhere, teams starting to move in like us. Keep tabs on Vex as well. James Fearless, Hambino, and Vudo. And, ooh, nice little knock there on Magento with the triple take. Some nades. Maybe we get the full. If not, delay the res.
They're getting the full. You see Hambino. You already know. They're going to pick up this kill. Maybe a little bit more, actually. Hambino does swing a blind corner without even his gun out, so a little bit of trolling from Vex Gaming, but it should be recoverable. They've still got the Void Nexus, and I believe they're hitting the recall right now. Lots of curiosity this game around not just how Vex will fare, but how Worldwide will play. Last time we saw the zone pull here in game 2, Worldwide played a mid-speed game that was extremely uncharacteristic of them. For this third game, I wonder if they do the same.
I'm just watching Sentinels right now because here's the deal. Jayhawk comes in, Jayhawk gasses up Sentinels and says Blinks are maybe one of the best on Wraith because he's notorious for those style of plays. He portals in, looks to see, hey, I need information, and B, I also want kills. Gambino in a death box, kind of unfortunate after that swing, but at least Voodoo and James Fearless can try and get him back.
I really thought that Vex were going to be able to pull him back to the Void Nexus, but it looks like not. Maybe denied by a finisher. Vex Gaming, the recovery still does seem like a formality. Nobody really here to deny it. Strongfish are making their way out of this POI, and Vudo is going to get Hambino back into the game. Tough start for Vex, but really not the end of the world. They're still quite close to zone. Could be the end of the world for is NIP. down. Kurev 1 and Stallions ever confident moving forward to finish the kills. Alter can only do so much for you.
And NIP was one of those teams that I had to kind of already assumed were going to be pretty consistently up in the top 5 day after day, but it's a slower start for them with only 4 points on the board. So lucky we don't get wiped there. Hopefully we can regain. But Stallions are going to make it really difficult, especially with another knock on Kurev.
GK find a knock onto Guild from Falcons, and Timmy going down as well. Hal gets into the most fiery poop situation I've ever seen.
Hello? We got Huss. We got 5-star. And if Jelly enters my building, I am terrified. And Jelly does send the Falcons and sends them packing back to the lobby.
Nice pickup from Jelly as well. That keeps grabbing credit everywhere.
I mean,
Jelly
he's looking
stocks
good.
continue to rise. The Falcons, unfortunately, gonna go down. I am hoping that this doesn't impact their comms too much, because as Draugr had pointed out, and as we have pretty staunchly been saying, yes, it is tough. This is still a sub weekend. Falcons, they want the points. They would love to succeed. This may be a split where their main job is just to make up for week 1.
Kind of survive. Right? A little bit of peace, love, happiness, apples, and bananas. That's all we need for the Falcons right now. For worldwide, I'm going to put them as my big question mark team, because you're pulling from a variety of regions. MT's calling is phenomenal. He's done it on LAN. He's done it over a variety of teams. And then you pull Nate, a fragger, from the EMEA side of things, and they've been making plays.
Not a lot to doubt with Nate. Maybe a little bit to doubt with Ambino's survival. SSS were popping off last game. Does not seem like an exception. Ambino doesn't even get to fire back, but Vex are out in 18th.
It's really sweet to see SSS find some success. I'm
glad you said that slowly. That could have not worked.
I was really trying to focus on the alliteration, because God only knows where that could have went. But with that circle pull and seeing how SSS just wiped Vex, we've got Strongfish over in Street Market that they could end up running up against. Maybe Head Glitch also goes south through that choke and runs into him. But the circle is going to get messy.
SSS is fight with Strongfish, though, does seem like it's going to be the real focus of the Western side of the ring. We've got Storm in the area as well, and Seen Nombre watching over all of that. And I was seeing if there were any other S's that I could fit in here, and mostly it's going to be anything having to do with Street Market. Most of this fight does look like it's going to be focused around there as well, since Head Glitch take priority on this rotate, and SSS can very well move forward with knowing the Strongfish are behind them.
I'm only like, this is tough. You got Strongfish, Street Market, Sacred, Slayer, Sweet, SSS, and you got people poking at them. So we gotta. I thought about it. Head Glitch does actually dive south. You can see the red ping on their mini map on the top left. That is head glitch moving into this situation, and we're all going to try to make it towards the west. Now, this same choke needs to be had. So if you fight against head glitch, it has to be quick because Strongfish will move in on this.
You'd imagine. Any multi-view enjoyers with the mini-map up will be watching Strongfish make a really conservative disengage up through Neon Square. JD Gaming, you'd be forgiven for thinking this is a replay. This is exactly the same spot that they played last game. JD have their game plan for this zone on lock.
Okay, good. That's exactly what I want to see for them. Especially just knowing Naughty Keon Ben. 20 points on the day inside the top 5. Want to stay there, want to keep on growing. But I like that we're not doing anything aggressive because it doesn't need to happen just yet, right? You've got your fences, you've got Watson, but I'm curious because Nice Guys just went to the low ground.
And Nocturnal also running the same macro. If I'm remembering correctly, the fight breaking out on that bridge earlier, but this time it will be the Nice Guys who are adapting to all of that. Stallion's trying to buy themselves a little bit of space to hit the beacon, and they will. Albrelele not going to get one clip or 3-2-1 off of this. And Stallions now get a boatload more information, knowing the GK lie ahead of them. But that the choke that Huss ended up playing in game 2 is completely free.
Wait, we get a ring console? I want to hear their comms.
I could just, I'm just gonna stand here and shoot them and act like like or something. I mean, I do not need bats, so I have a white bag. I'm just gonna take cells. Just give me cells. Got the drop. Listen. 40 Slayer, you need to watch our gas wrap until it is level 3 gas. Okay. We need to prioritize staring at our southwest. I think they went here. Shit behind us. All right. Yeah, both of you. Like, I'm gonna be the only one on the roof right now. I need you guys both be looking behind us. Yeah, I'm just touching our bottom floor real quick. Red stop here. Someone take that. I can't use. I'm gonna play the belt. Next fast. Yeah. Can you guys just double play back there? Yeah, there's another red stock there. Oh, and also, can we get fences down and like we can't let anyone take these shops bottom right. I don't think that will be an issue. We're fighting anyone that comes into these shops like flying in or something, right? We're just gonna path from here to like the spot over here. Here, I'm gonna get purple. And reset. Sorry, can you listen to choke? It's kind of yeah. Which one are you watching? You're watching that? Yeah, I'll watch the choke. You want me to get fences in the? Two shots away from perk. You said you want me to get fences in here, sweet? No, you don't need to do in the shop.
SSS. Their game plan solid for right now. I wonder whether they'll be able to have the explosive end game that at this point would be difficult to foresee. Right now, they're mid-game at the very least, still backed up by the same firepower. Sweet looking for the finish right now. Unable to find it, just gets the down on Thuggets. But SSS, they're definitely a team to look out for, a team that has already been denied their win once.
Yeah, and I love that they're able to solidify holding their back, right? You know that Strongfish is looking for options on getting into that next circle, and by getting that onto Thuggets, they regain through the Void Nexus and are going to go on the west side. For now, SSS is alone. Ninjas and Pajamas, however, are on the northern side. We have issues here, and Darkspire is all spread out through this. So I feel like we're on a scavenger hunt, and we're just trying to claim a couple KP for Ninjas, and you need it because we've got 4 points. 3,
we'll get
one
the map,
team wipe, it'll double it.
Yeah, I want to look at how differently this game is playing out, because like you're talking about, the kill's going to be really important for a lot of squads, and they'll be a lot easier to access, especially for teams that hold high ground this game. JD Gaming's position looking a whole lot better than it did, and it was a good position in our second game. Now, however, the bridge has become even more important as the zone pulls to the center of Draft Point. And teams like this, like Sin Nombre, like Strongfish, that are entering in from this side, are going to experience a lot of difficulty because the buildings are occupied. You've got to walk through chokes, and before all of that, it looks like you've got to fight each other.
Yeah, Strongfish has to move forward straight into Sin Nombre. I think Team Darkspire might be lurking about in this vicinity as well, fresh off their interaction with Ninjas and Pajamas. For now, it's making sure we are fully healed up on the shield. Good pippin of the map of where we need to go. We are on the cluster of that western side. Strongfish in the green. Strongfish Thug gets in a death box, and Joshua and Naveki now have to invest a Maggie Ball. See if that helps. I didn't see it boink anyone, but you're back down playing off the pylon. This is a lot of resources just going in to stabilize when we've already got our back against the ring.
GK fighting Stallions right now. This is not the only engagement, not the only poke battle that we're seeing across E District. With NIP, Husk, and Dinos sharing space, we have to acknowledge that it has been another great zone call from Nocturnal, putting Nice Guys into a good spot for the ring. He gave up the high ground earlier for this low ground building, and it's a good thing that Watson is still in the game, because for every team on the low ground, were she not, it would be basically impossible to play. Nades incredibly valuable in these endgame zones, and that means that Mad Maggie is actually the pick that's getting the most value.
Oh yeah, just keeping those riot drills thrown down on the faces Sentinels. Let's see if they can keep things moving from the south. You've got to get through Stallions and Owl. Portals straight onto it. Slow health, but he moves. And now the chase is on. Owl trying to cover the distance back to them, but across from another team holding Alb at bay.
You remember 2 days ago we were talking about RIP Strongfish. We were talking about double drill versus big drill.
Yes.
I think this is a big drill game. With
I would say it's a double
how
drill.
small the buildings are.
I want to throw it everywhere.
I see your argument. I see your argument. I think with how small the buildings are, you can basically just go, no, you can't play in here at all with big drill. But I think that a lot of coaches would take your side here.
Do we reset here? SSS had a couple of Hail Marys. Oh my God. That is not what you want to see when you peek a corner and you just panic ult from Maggie. SSS have been eliminated and I'm scared for them.
Another portal from Sentinels. Hoping to take them straight by Storm and into the ring. But Blinkzer ends up going down, and Sentinels may go with him. Monsoon hits the floor next, and I'm waiting for that notification that fun is no more. Sentinels are out 15th place in their third and final game. District.
Well, Storm claimed their building, but still have to move northeast, and tons of teams on that western side. It's gonna be scary. Team Darkspire gonna be one of the teams not making it from the west. Worldwide, haven't found much purchase in terms of kills as of now. But it seems like we want the Stallions to come out and play. Dude, they're getting eaten alive. That is just not a good position for Stallions.
I think they can turn this around on Storm, but they are trying to make sure that Worldwide can't peek them easily. If they go up the stairs, Storm can't shoot them, but if they go up the stairs, Worldwide can. Stallions have got to pick their fight, because if they stay here, if they stay on those stairs rather, they will die. Here, referencing what we're seeing right now, is the north of the zone, where Ninjas in Pajamas, Dinos, and Huss are all in a three-way standoff. Dinos not having a lot of room to play, but they can move up to the high ground in just a moment, ultimately facing off against Brain Rotting, who will be the only team with sight lines on them.
Stallions moved up. Stallions moved up, and JD Gaming come for the third party. All three up. Stallions have been eliminated, but Worldwide trying to stabilize on the inside. I see MT hit the floor, and through the portals we go. Naughty 1 HP clutches it up, and Worldwide are eliminated, but here comes Storm.
Or the third party. Doesn't look like they're able to find Naughty at the moment, but the thirsts are coming in from Storm, who are playing a huge portion of the bridge right now. keeping Sin Nombre away, but also wanting to commit to the fight with JDG. It'll be GK that ultimately have to commit to that fight, with Noct finding himself face to face with Naughty, and into the drill Noct will go, moving us down to 8 squads as Storm fall with him.
Noct was solo for GK for at least the past 2 minutes, so the fact that we grab a couple of kills right there is stellar for the roster. But as you look at the current scenario, Dinos in the north, Hus across from them, and Ninjas in Pajamas who have yet to move down. We do have to push out towards the center of the circle where it will be ending. But this collapse is atrocious. But so is Brain Rotting's positioning.
Kills on Sin Nombre going to be very welcome, as these may be the last couple kills that Brain Rotting ever get. They're positioning next to Head Glitch. Could net them another squad wipe if we balance the way that these teams have been performing. We know that this could be a good game for Brain Rotting, but Hus are the team that could double up here, that could find their second win. Let's see how they're feeling.
They have to move before us.
I think we have to kill this game on the right.
They're not gonna go low ground. The team left is gonna go low ground. And then I think we could just queue out like right to the launch.
Yeah, we might have to play for KT.
Maybe,
I don't know. That'd be fun. This could be fun.
I can swing to the hill.
Look, I should be drilling this team. Look at their height.
Yeah, don't close, you can. You got drill?
That's a bad drill. They have 30 seconds left. Down.
That's drill.
Get ready
Can we
to
just
drill
take the building? Can we just take the left building right now?
They're going there.
Building? Okay.
I don't see anyone. Yeah, the hut. Get ready to queue down the hut.
I queued down. It's like good right now. Chill down here. What's out here?
Yeah, this might be.
Jen!
Jen on the outside, I think. Almost out. We're good.
Look across! Big drill!
Good drill. Chilling.
We gotta take the ultra cell again!
Play the outside.
I already have it. Oh, just ran on the left.
Play out.
We just got hard on.
Dude, play that. Play out, dude. Play out.
I can't.
I'm like,
fuck, man! We gotta hug the building. We just...
And it's in the comms at the end to break it down. We lose out on Hus. They needed to hug the building per their comms. Brain Rotting follow them, and into the top 3 we go. Dinos, Ninjas in Pajamas, and Head Glitch, but Dinos are on the come up.
And NIP have so much space. Will Dinos be able to rat them out? Will they be able to make a crazy play, or will be NIP with another crazy swing that took out Hus like this, and now they take out DJ. The first member of Dinos is down. Head Glitch are waiting. Head Glitch have just 2 members left.
Head Glitch have 6 kills.
Last full team is NIP. They should be able to win this game, and especially with J Future dying here. But Riley drops down. It's three members left for NIP. But all blinking low health bars, and Riley tries to take a 1v3. The beams, too good from NIP. January's 1 HP. Who comes out on top of this 1v1?
You pop a shield back. Cole climbs up. The Prowlers there in head glitch are able to survive.
The commit from NIP. Honorable, but deadly. Both for them and for Dinos. And Head Glitch as a duo clinch back a game that easily could have slipped out of their grasp. Check out the team play from NIP to slide out on that and actually make this a 1v1 and make this anyone's game.
The climb up, being such low HP, you're like, my only chance is while he's right there, we're climbing up, we're taking the fight to them. That was a close one.
It was another, in a very different way. It was another very beautiful game. NIP really made their low ground look like a winning position with their decisiveness and recognition that the duo above them was going to have limited impact on the game. Riley made this possible, and for Head Glitch, they have a lot to thank him for, lowering the health bars so much, putting pressure on NIP at the right time. It is a 9-kill game for Head Glitch, and the rest of the lobby really only has NIP that are able to compete with that. 8 kills and the 17 points keep NIP competitive.
And they needed that. They really did. After the first 2 games, we were talking about how they only had 4 points. So you see that thrust them up 9 places on the leaderboard. Head Glitch go up 13. But we are seeing a very small difference in between the teams inside the top. That is, it's any, like JD Gaming have a good performance. Dinos maybe go on to win that and grab a couple of more kills. It's a completely different story, but SSS still staying in the top 3.
Yeah, I'm trying to check off of the results of last game. SSS really didn't put up that many points. They ended this one at 28. They started this one at 28. It's exactly the same. SSS got nothing done there and still managed to hold on to their spot in top 3. It's been an impressive day from them, but 0-point games, they will come back to haunt you.
You got to bounce back from that. We'll see if they're going to be able to do that on World's Edge.
Sony InZone, the official audio and monitor partner of the Apex Legends Global Series.
Red Bull gives you wings.
The slaughter is upon us. And so it begins. War mode. Second off, everybody shut up. 3 things to make clear. Y'all forgot what's up. The gun is the tool. I'm on 5 on my top 5. Ain't no 6 now. We alright. I roll a 7 with 2 dots. Hey, this beat is. The hunter is the weapon. Hit song, flip song, trick song, more mode. The gods have spoken. My time is now. Warriors who wanna feel this time to die. Warriors who wanna feel, go to the sky. Crown on my head, I wear the scars on my chest. Yeah, take all the queens and bishops and knights like we playing chess. Warriors who wanna feel, go to the sky. I am Bloodhunter, chosen hunter, beast of slaughter. They will learn my name once more.
Legends, welcome back to the Apex Legends Global Series, guys. We just wrapped up game number 3, our final match on E District. And before we head on over to World's Edge, I want to welcome in a guest that's going to be joining us real quick. I want to chat. Mavs, you and I haven't had the pleasure to speak before, so welcome to the broadcast.
Hi, well, I'm glad to be back again. I mean, you weren't here last time. It was rain day, Dia Graceful, and so I'm glad to be back.
I heard you absolutely smashed your TriCast, so I am very sad that I didn't get to see it, right? So one day you're going to have to join me. But for those of you that might be at home watching this that didn't catch the TriCast either, Mabs, you want to kind of give a little brief intro about yourself? I know you just recently graduated from Full Sail. You launched a collegiate esports program. That's so cool.
Yeah, I've helped kind of foster the program as a mentor in the casting team. So I do a lot of collegiate esports casting for multiple different organizations, but also across multiple different game titles. But Apex has kind of been the passion project, the passion and love of it all. So I'm just trying to keep building myself up in any way, shape, or form, and hopefully maybe I make it up here with the rest of y'all as a regular time caster. But for the time being, I do a lot of collegiate level casting.
Nice. And hopefully, you really never know. I believe I started back in the challenger circuit like 5 years ago. So it truly is a grind. I saw your tweets and you were so hyped that ALGS came back. You've been keeping up with it. I saw some 100 Thieves love, so some CRT, but are there any teams that you've specifically been keeping your eyes on?
Yeah, I mean, CRT is the main one. I mean, I've been a CRT fan for a long time here, and especially now that they've picked up Koifel. I mean, it seems like they've been able to kind of foster in some sort of change in their momentum in this so far at the beginning of the split for the past few couple days. But for consistency's sake, I mean, Team Vision, they've been looking solid from all the way from the end of split 1 going into this split currently. I mean, they have been looking on point right now. So those are really the main 2 teams. I mean, I think Koiful for CRT has just been a real game changer right now.
I like it, and I think that's very true. Did you catch some of our earlier games on E District, and do you have any like kind of hot takes about those?
Ooh, I guess the biggest hot take right now is Falcons. I think they're not. I mean, look, it might not be too much of a hot take if it's true, but their games right now have not been at the level that a lot of us expect it to be. So I feel like in the later half of these games, something's going to have to change. Something's going to have to give, and I'm hopeful that maybe we can see a little bit more life, especially with Timmy in as the quote unquote super sub, as I've heard him be called yesterday. So I don't know. I mean, I think they just got to step it up right now. I don't know.
We need a super suit for our super sub, and you said it, Mavs. They've got to step it up. We'll see if they can do that over on World's Edge. Thank you so much for joining us here on the halftime. I've got to let you go because the games are coming quick, but it's been a blast chatting with you, and I hope to see where guys go follow It's Mavs on Twitter. Up and coming caster, survived. He did a tri-cast, and who knows, maybe you'll see him one day on the ALGS.
Hopefully.
You never know what can happen. There's so much cool up and coming talent, not only in the talent space for commentators, but also in the players. And if you want to go check out all that action in person, guys, Split 2 playoff tickets are live. It's going down at the Orleans Arena in the wild, wild west of Las Vegas, Nevada. It's over Halloween as well, October 29th through November 1st. I have no idea what I'm going to dress up as, but I've got to get tabs on like a crazy cool costume if I get invited, you know? But there's going to be 40 elite teams. It's a crazy prize pool. The fan activations have been leveling up and have been so fun. I love in the mornings before all the games start, I run around the venue. I try to get through the activations myself, and it's just a good time. Ooh. Hey there, Jay-Huh. You scared me.
I just want to say, I'm typing in the lobby chat right now, and Sacred is really upset that I don't like KFC. So for all the KFC fans,
are you
I'm sorry,
talking about KFC in the lobby chat with them?
Monsoon and Kurev, you know, food got brought up, and that's where the conversation went. So
it happens. Monsoon's doing a cooking stream with Apex. He's gonna make a Nessie sushi roll and maybe some other cool things because he's always talking about food. But I'm gonna bring up the Sony in zone kill leaderboard because I feel like we need to chat about the new blood in the scene. And when I say new blood, I'm talking floating jelly. Like, look at these numbers.
Absolutely. Listen, there's some veterans on there, and I'm not trying to discount what they're doing. Jen, Keon, Noct, Cole, some of these guys are popping off. But look at the rest of the list. Floating, he made his name at the Open last year. Sacred has made his name last split. You got DJ, Killa, and Dinos who are popping off as well. These guys are the new talent. These are the up-and-comers. You go back a year, and I don't think any of these guys are really competing in Pro League. Split 2 is when we started to see some of these names pop up, and so I'm just really impressed by some of the new talent that we're seeing in the Americas region. There's been a lot of talk about some of the other regions and why maybe they have never caught up to the Americas. And I think it really is not only the talent that we already have, all the veterans that continue to perform, but the guys who keep on stepping up and improving a lot of our other teams in the region as well.
I mean, that's a really good shout because I immediately when Nice Guys started popping off just yesterday, they won the 2 matches. I was like, someone give me the lore on, I don't even know how to say his name, Jukies. And he's been running the collegiate scene. He's been playing with Muffins, and that name should trigger a lot of people's nostalgia right there. But floating, you're right, has been absolutely stellar. 8 kills in match number 1. They took that victory, had the L-Star, sprayed down Jelly. But there's a lot to be had because we're going to World's Edge, Jayhawk. And we got to get it back to the casters.
It's going to be fun.
Good luck, boys. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Grace, welcome back. I heard something on that desk that just it got me fired up. How is it that the Americas stay ahead of every other region? Could it be that we keep stealing the best talent from every other region? How is it possible that the big companies, they just stay on top because they keep buying everything else? It's the same thing we're seeing in Apex, man. You see somebody do well in one region. Oh, next region, I'm applying for my visa in the Americas. I can't wait to not play for 2 weeks while I wait to get that approved.
I mean, that is definitely a factor in regards to how some of these players get to have the opportunity. Passion can only take you so far unless you're living at home with your parents, not necessarily having any rent to pay. Well, then you're gonna need some type of support, and what better way than having a great organization behind you? So that is, you might look at that one way. I look at it as in passion. They're willing to bring players to them and they want to win. Maybe that's just what takes it all.
It is true, and a big part of it is also it is a risk to move across the world.
Yeah.
It is a big risk to go competitive in esports in the first place, as this is the highest percentile of any Apex players that you're going to see, and getting there is not easy. To believe in yourself, to take that risk, and to take that risk so far as to move for it, that is extremely commendable. It's extremely inspiring, I think is the word I'm looking for.
I'll have to say, I've been my entire career has been over the past like decade, really, and I've lived across the entire world, both in America, both in Asia, and around Europe. And it is something that just, you have to have the drive for it, because as you said as well, you're moving so far away from everything, your safety net, your family, your friends, that it just, rather than seeing it as a risk or something detrimental, I see it as an opportunity to break out and chase your dreams, because at the end of the day, we're all gonna rest in peace at some point. Why not chase your dreams while you can? And every team here on this leaderboard for sure is chasing that dream, because this is the ticket for America's region to make their way into Las Vegas.
Exactly. End of the first round robin is serious business. It is a third of your season done, and your first mark on the ALGS split to GK making a strong argument for themselves to take the lead, to take the big 25 points that come with it in the overall split leaderboard. But Huss right behind them by a single point, a single kill, the difference between these two rosters. SSS started losing their grip just last game, but we have seen some good mechanics come out of SSS. I think we've still got a lot to look forward to out of them. And the Dinos moved up the leaderboard on eBank. Big fan of the Dinos. I'm going to caveat that by saying I know they prioritize eBank. I know that they prioritize E-District. That is the map that they've put all their focus into, and now we're changing maps.
Indeed, we are chasing maps, and if the former region in EMEA is any indicator of where the zone is going to be pulling, we saw Warcamp, we saw Skyhook, and we saw Thermal at that point. If any of that changes, things could mix things up very well.
Team Falcons and Ninjas in Pajamas, the other two teams that in the first round of the POI draft prioritized their position on E-District. Every other team in the lobby ended up prioritizing this map, World's Edge, and Ninjas in Pajamas grabbed themselves Skyhook East, Falcons Geyser, so managing to get at least some priority picks here. It's interesting to see Falcons going Geyser when they've so typically been associated with much stronger POIs. And Geyser, though it has gotten a lot better, is, I would say, not the POI that is considered anywhere near the strongest. It's not dome bad, but it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been I think it's kind of one of those spots, the same way as Landslide was honestly considered bad for quite some time after it changed from Train, right? I think it's one of those, depending on how often zone pulls in certain directions, because don't even get me started on zone pulls back in the day. 30 out of 36 zones was southeast on the World's Edge. If that's the case, Geyser goes up in strength, but if it's split all around the entire map, but of course it's not going to be nearly as strong. Or if we see a ton of thermal zones, well, you're going to have an okay rotate, but you might be lacking other resources and potentially Evo as well.
There is a team that I want to focus on that we have not gotten the chance to talk a lot about today, and that is Headglitch, who are making a big turnaround from their first day in the Pro League. Headglitch started off with, I would say, not even generously, a disappointing start, but a realistic one for this team. In 20th on the first day, on Friday. It was the opening, it was the craziest lobby that we got in the Americas, but the difference that we have seen from Headglitch then to Headglitch today has been massive. They're currently sitting in 6th place. They have 23 points overall, and when compared to their first day, it is all that you could ask for. The big turnarounds, they do need to happen. You need to have big games. I haven't seen Headglitch have big games. They have had pretty good games, plus the single win that they found themselves in last game. That single win pushing them to more than double the points that they were able to accumulate in a full day of play.
I think as well, what we have to keep in mind is that as some of the teams are having a hard time to adjust as well, just because they haven't had that phenomenal outbreak so far, this is a great way to start that snowball. As well as we think about some of the teams in general was trying to break out, we namely saw Brain as well trying to win that game, and we were saying, oh, they're gonna wipe potentially another team. The team that wiped them was them, and at that point you just have to make sure that regardless of how many teams are around you, everybody's pulling their weight, trying to make sure other teams can't step ahead of them. It is incredibly competitive.
Now that we're halfway through the day, and especially because it was E-District, how are we feeling about Brain Rotting? I know that we were excited about them on day one, and I'm not asking you to pass judgment on this team's potential, but I am noticing that Brain Rotting are not having as good of a day, and I'm thinking it's because of the pace of the lobby. What's your read?
I agree with that as well. I mean, the same reason why we're seeing Huss pop off as much as they are doing right now is because of the change of the pace, and I think that they kind of thrive in chaotic nations. We even saw Mr. Rosie as well absolutely pop off on top of that bridge above draft point. So it's still there, but they haven't really learned how to navigate and adapt to the lobbies that isn't nearly up to as much chaoticness.
Yeah, one thing is being able to adapt in the fast-paced environment and make that work for you, as we very clearly saw them do. However, in these slower positions, in these slower zones, especially with the fact that we doubled up on draft point, albeit with different pulls in the end, that zone is extremely difficult to speed up. There are a lot of teams that will come in and punish you, and there's a lot of pressure with the amount of squads looking at you that keeps you from making big explosive plays like we saw this team be able to do. That is weirdly where Huts have been able to succeed, where most of the time they're able to absorb pushes. I was talking to Tiff about this. Not a huge fan of their call. I understand why they made it. Not a huge fan of the call to put the Watson Jhin on the outside in the last game. I understand why it happened, but I do think that trying to play the outside for Huss was a mistake, albeit not a completely fatal one, as Huss are still having a good day.
So the reason why they're not playing indoors, obviously, is drilling. You don't want to get drilled there. If you place a gender, it's still gonna get broken. So make it to avoid that, they play it on the outside. The only biggest issue, as you heard on the comps as well, they need to hug that same wall that they initially wanted to place that gen. However, I was honestly a little bit more, how should I say, split on the fact that they went that side. Because regardless, after they play that ball, let's just say theoretically if they survive, absolutely everybody's gonna stare them down. NIP was right in front of them on a safe spot as well. Could have just 3-man turned back, and I highly doubt it's going to be as clean as a 3-0 in that 3v3. So I think they could have maybe made some adjustments before it got to that point. But overall, though, they should be happy with how the day has gone.
They may very well do that. Over on map 4, have no fear, World's Edge is here. And Head Glitch, the team that we are going to be starting with in one of these spots that we nearly saw in Endgaming yesterday in the Americas. Didn't quite pull all the way up to East Village, but we got pretty close even in EMEA, going to War Camp, so there's a chance that we see that over in the Americas this time around. Head Glitch are going to be running the Sparrow this game, as we have already taken off all of the prime UAV recon candidates. However, they will not be getting the zone coming to them, as Nice Guys are the beneficiaries of the ring pull. I am, however, noticing, and I think that one nameplate could be covering it, so I'm holding off on this. I'll just say it, and then if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It doesn't look like they have a ring console. I don't think they know.
That's the thing, but as a lot of